Happy New Year. It's actually January 2nd, but we were driving in the car all day yesterday. If you're new here, I'm Dillon. I live in North Carolina, but me and my husband were just in Florida visiting his family for the holidays, and we are in the middle of our not so short trip back home. We stopped overnight at about the halfway point with stops and traffic and everything. We were in the car for about 8 hours yesterday. Today we have about 6 hours of driving, but we have, again, stops and likely traffic, so it'll probably be another 8 hours, which is why it is about 7:30 right now, and we're trying to get on the road pretty early this morning. I know we'll stop for lunch, and then we also want to stop at IKEA to look for a bed frame and some shelves, but we'll get it all delivered. I just want to like see it in person and pick out everything that we want because we don't have an IKEA near us. We're just getting ready for the day and then hitting the road.
Martha came from off the farm, ran right up, jumped in my arms. I said, "You're coming home with me today. Martha, you're the sweetest girl, an angel sent down to this world. I love you more than words could ever say. Every day's a new beginning."
Let's hope it starts. All right. Haven't driven my car in a week and a half, I think. Good morning, happy Monday. Happy first working Monday of the year. Ugh. I'm headed into the office this morning. I like to get to the office around 8, about an hour or two before everyone else. And it is 8 a.m. right now. So I'm actually pretty proud of that for how close to on time I am. I'm also happy that my car started. I made it to work. Traffic wasn't too bad. It's like a dreary, cloudy Monday, and I'm tired, but nobody wants to hear about that. Okay, Friday night, we got home safely. We got home like kind of early evening, like 4-ish. I'm the type of crazy person that has to unpack as soon as I get home from a trip. So like I unpacked everything. I found homes for all of our new Christmas gifts. I did laundry. I cleaned my retainer. Like all of my toiletries were like put back where they belong. My charger was plugged in, because nothing annoys me more than when I come home from a trip and then I go to bed and then I go to charge my phone and my charger's not there. Like that will send me into a spiral. So I unpacked and I did like a little bit of cleaning up, straightening up, which was great because Saturday and Sunday I completely and absolutely crashed. I think my body just knew that I needed like a break. I think it knew that I was, at the end of all of my obligations for the year. Done with work, done with traveling. I completely crashed. I just oscillated between my bed and the couch and had a screen time that I would only describe as criminal. Like I was barely a human being. On Saturday, we went to see our friends who just moved and we had dinner with them, which was nice. But yesterday, like genuinely scraping by, and like we don't even have groceries. Like I don't know, we've been spending so much money on food, and it was like Sunday scaries to the max. I had lofty goals for the weekend. I was like, I'm gonna grocery shop, I'm gonna clean, I'm gonna take down Christmas decorations, and I did none of that. Which is something, because let's talk about New Year's resolutions. So I am historically 10 toes down on New Year's resolutions. In years past, I have written out a long list, categorized my goals, and tracked them in a spreadsheet, posted monthly updates. Like I was serious about my New Year's resolutions. And I did that for a couple years, and then last year 2025 was just one of the busiest years for me, just between like quitting my old job, planning a wedding, starting this new full-time job, and just everything in general. It was busy, and I was getting burnt out from like tracking these goals, and I was losing the why of why I was doing it. I was just like doing it to do it and not for the reasons that I wanted to have the goals in the first place. So I stopped tracking them. And when thinking about my goals this year, I knew I wanted to have a lot fewer and I wanted them to be a little bit more vague. So I present to you my 2026 New Year's resolutions. My first one is that I want to keep the promises that I make to myself. So like when I say I'm going to go grocery shopping, I go grocery shopping. When I say I'm going to go to the gym, I go to the gym. If I say I'm going to do this, I actually do it. And that's not without grace. Like I want to give myself grace and give myself, you know, some permission to slip up a little bit on that, i.e. this weekend, but it's a little less about like forcing myself to do stuff and a little more about enforcing consistency and stability. That's like and like discipline. That's kind of what I'm missing, and that's like the goal that I'm striving for. So keeping the promises that I make to myself. Second, I would like to write more than I've ever written, whether that's like journaling, just writing down my thoughts when I have them, writing more cards to people, just like any sort of writing in general. I feel like I barely wrote anything last year. And I also think coupled with writing, like in order to write more, you have to read more. But I wasn't feeling drawn to setting a reading goal. I like to kind of read when I want to read, and I tend to be a pretty voracious reader when I like get in the swing of things. So I want to write more than I've ever written. And then a fun one is like I just want to take pictures of my outfits, like more pictures of my outfits. The goal is every day, but like I didn't really wear pants the past 2 days, and like I don't really need a photo of that. So taking more pictures of my outfits every day is a goal, just because I enjoy doing that, and I think it will help me play with my clothes a little bit more and, you know, see what I'm wearing. So those are my New Year's resolutions. Didn't really work on them this past weekend, but I don't think the new year like really starts until like today. You know, that's just me. Friday night, I did kind of have the perfect storm of like New Year's energy of I want to get rid of everything that we own, and the energy of I just brought a bunch of stuff into our home, I need to get rid of stuff to make room for it, combined with we just watched our friends move, and the thought of packing up our apartment right now with all of our belongings and moving them sounds horrible. So all of that combined helped me go through some cabinets and drawers and closets and clean out a bunch of stuff to donate. So I'm hopefully making a big donation run this week at some point. But I also wanted to do all of this ahead of this weekend. So we went to IKEA, and we were mainly going on a fact-finding mission. I have been wanting some sort of storage, whether it's a bookcase or a cabinet or a hutch or something, to go behind our dining table for quite a while now, mainly to store our like drink station. We love coffee, tea, we have a lot of accessories, a lot of accoutrement, and it's quickly outgrowing its little corner on our counter. So I've been wanting some sort of storage to like move that over to behind our dining table. And then this Christmas we got a soda stream, which is like kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, to where like, okay, it really cannot fit on our counter anymore. And I've had my eye on Facebook Marketplace for like bookshelves and cabinets and hutches and stuff, and there's just nothing that I like a whole lot to pay the amount of money that people are asking for, or that I like enough to figure out a way to transport it and get it up our stairs. We live in a second floor walk up. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to buy a gigantic hutch right now. So we went to IKEA to look at the Billy bookcases to make sure that that's exactly what we wanted, and it is. So I placed an order, and all of that is getting delivered on Saturday. And then while we were there, we also were looking at a new bed frame for Zach. He recently got a new mattress and upgraded from a full to a queen, but interestingly, his frame stayed the size of a full. So his mattress has just kind of been floating on top. And so we were looking at options for a new bed frame for him. We ordered that, and that's also coming on Saturday. Once those bookcases come in, it's going to kind of set in motion a domino of reorganizing cabinets and storage and things, because some things that are in our hutch right now are going to go in those cabinets, and then something from my bedside table is going to go in the hutch, and then some stuff that's on our bookshelves is going to go on a new bookshelf. And so it's just going to be a lot of like reorganizing, rearranging stuff that will happen once those bookshelves come in. And so ahead of that, I also wanted to get rid of stuff. So all that to say, I got rid of a bunch of stuff, or I'm preparing to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I still need to donate it and get it like out of our house. Anyways, I've been blabbering on enough for 10 minutes now. I need to go inside and do some work. You would think after a week and a half away I would come renewed and refreshed, but in actuality I was so anxious about the amount of work that's waiting for me inside there right now that I could barely sleep last night. So I'm quite exhausted, but we must persist. So I'm gonna go to work now. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm letting my car warm up before I head into work. I didn't go to work yesterday because I was very much not feeling well. I'm feeling much better today. Still not 100%, but I'm vertical, so that's a win in my column. I do have some pretty lofty goals for what I would like to accomplish post-work, both errands and chores. I very rarely do the both, but Zack's on his way to a bachelor trip, so I'm solo for the next couple days, and I'm hoping that like the trivial nature of me being home alone and like knowing that I'm gonna be by myself like gives me a little bit more adrenaline and like helps me accomplish more and be a little bit more productive. We'll see if that actually works, but I am going to try to keep my promises to myself. I'd like to go to Target, Costco, and then put away my laundry. But I really should go to like a car parts store because I need to get new windshield wipers, cabin air filter, all that kind of stuff before I go get my car inspected for the year. Will I do that? I don't know. We'll see. That one's like not a must. That's not a promise to myself. But I think Target, Costco, those are promises to myself. And I think I'll probably just get dinner at Costco so then I don't have to make anything. Okay. My car is warm. Let's go to work. Y'all. It's 7 p.m. and I just got home. I did run some errands, keeping my promises to myself, but I did leave work late and I'm exhausted. I'll show you what I got from Costco. I did go to Target, but I really try not to shop there, mainly like morally and ethically. They also don't have anything that I need. Like so many things are such poor quality that it's just basically like trash. And also, it's always a horrible experience. Like, it's always so crowded. Our Target isn't really well stocked. Like, it's just not a good experience. So I try not to shop there, but I had to give card, and there are boring things that I needed, so I got boring things. I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to show you what I got at Costco. I got blueberry muffins, taste-tested one for my dinner appetizer. I got allergy medicine because ours was expired. I got this instant bone broth. We've gotten these before. It is basically bouillon in like a liquid IV package, but it's so nice to just like add some boiling water and then like have a little bone broth. And I'm aware that I could do that and make this myself, but I won't, and I will drink this. So I do like these. I got toothbrush heads. This is so exciting. And then for work, I got 3 bags of liquid IV. These are gonna go in the welcome bags for one of our clients. And Costco sells it the cheapest, so I go to Costco for that. Remember this morning when I said I was really lofty with my goals for what I wanted to do post-work? I was not anticipating getting home at 7, but I'm really not that hungry, but I know I should eat. So I might make a turkey sandwich, even though that's what I had for lunch today. bye.